Hey, RSL Nation! Welcome back.
What's
Hi.
good? What's good? Welcome back, everybody.
Hello, hello. Um, man, I don't know about you guys, but I was super excited today watching RSL play again. I don't care what the result was. I just wanted this some soccer to be played by RSL.
Like
And we
preseason,
got some soccer.
we got some soccer. Preseason was good and all. It was fun to watch preseason and all, but it was fun to actually have a game that we actually cared and that actually mattered to
It,
watch today.
it's true. It's true. So we're actually gonna talk about our reactions, obviously, to this game. We're doing it a couple hours after the game, so that way it's pretty fresh on our mind. Um, After that, we're gonna definitely get into this weekend. First official game, MLS game. Woo woo. And so we're gonna make sure we cover everything that involves San Jose, RSL, all that. Plus, we're actually gonna get into Leg Two of CONCACAF Champions Cup because today was left a lot of things in the air, we'll say. Yeah. So, um, without further ado, let's just dive into this. Marcos, could you give us your thoughts on the lineup? Give us the lineup. What you thought? Just give me everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a lot of new faces in this starting 11. So we have Catranis. First off, we have Rafael Cabral making his first ever start for RSL, which was huge. Catranis, Kobe Henry making his debut for RSL with Justin Glad, who picked up a knock supposedly in the last preseason game. Vera also playing center back, and Hidalgo in the right back spot. Ojeda and Nelly as the usual, and the pair in the defensive mid with Dominic, Diogo, and then Lachlan getting the start because obviously Luna stayed home. And then we have Iago playing up top, which, whew, can we talk about Iago? Fan,
Talk, talk away. Whatever your
talk
thoughts are.
about.
I mean, we
I,
might have different thoughts, but go ahead.
No, I was very impressed in first
Okay.
half performance by Iago. Yes, he definitely showed that he was a little bit nervous. He had a few chances he could have put away. Obviously, that breakaway with the keeper, very frustrating. I All of us at Kaye were pounding the table, screaming at the screen. We're like, Iago, break away with the keeper. You could have chipped it over the keeper. You had the whole net, but you could definitely tell a little bit of butterflies. His first start with a new team, but he had some bright spots. Definitely areas to improve on, but you could tell this was first game of the season for RSL. A lot of hiccups. A lot of hiccups.
Yeah. All right. Christian, I saw your face. You might have different opinions, so let loose.
Well, I don't where to begin.
I mean, from the beginning.
I mean from the beginning, right? With his lineup, I was skeptic about the lineup, especially I think like a lot of people skeptic about that back line. Um, Obviously with Henry starting in center back with Vera and then Bodie Hidalgo starting at right back.
That was a strange one.
That was a little bit of a strange one, but we've seen Bodie play in that position before, so it's not completely strange. But for a tournament game,
An important tournament,
a
not just
very
any,
important
not any tournament.
for an important tournament game, that was kind of interesting choice. However, I will say this about the back line, and I'll include Cabral in there. I like Cabral in the net. He did a
Okay.
fantastic job, good commanding of the field, smart decision making, good playmaking out the back. Um, and this is gonna be weird for me to say,
I'm
but
ready.
I'm not terribly concerned about the depth of our back line right now.
No, no. I
It
think with the injury of Catranis being taken off in the 18th minute, it was definitely I wasn't devastated at all because I knew we had depth in Junqua, and we saw what he did with when he was at FC Dallas, and we saw what he did in preseason. So I wasn't concerned at all. It was disappointing that Catranis could not play the full 90. You could see the frustration on his face being taken off, and I felt so bad for him.
I don't think it was a he couldn't play. I think the team made a game time decision to save him for the league debut on Saturday.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely,
it's a hard
absolutely.
it's a hard hit getting a ball to the back of the head. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough. I mean, and it was a tough call. You saw on at least on the YouTube stream, you saw him talking with the doctor, and he was n like Catranes was not having it.
Mm-mm.
No.
I feel for the doctor because obviously he has to make the best decision, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Going to Christian's point, yes, the depth it really helped us out tonight, especially. Um, I'm not sure why we took out Vera at the end. Maybe I didn't see him either in yellow card trouble. I didn't see him being overly aggressive. Maybe it was just
Mm,
conditioning.
he was getting a little scrappy towards the end, and it's I think because Herediano was getting frustrated that they weren't having their way that I think that they expected to have their way. They've been dominating the Costa Rican League this year, and I think they came into this expecting to walk all over Real Salt Lake because the way that they're playing, who aren't they going to walk all over? Like they feel like they could take on Real Madrid and beat them, but
Well,
um,
funny thing you should mention that real quick. I was watching the Costa Rican TV stream before the pregame,
mhm.
and they're doing street interviews, asking everyone, "Hey, what do you think the result's going to be? How do you think we're going to play?" And exactly to your point, Christian, everyone was inflated. They were saying that the two people that they asked about results, they said Herediano is going to win 2-0. Um, I didn't see. I mean, stat wise, obviously they were on the attack. They had some shots, but
Mhm.
it didn't feel dangerous to me. I don't know about you guys. It didn't feel like the shots were totally on target per
There,
se.
there, there were two moments I was like, the first was the cross, the not the cross, but the pass across the open goal
Hmm. Correct.
early in the game, and then the shot that hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
Those were two moments I was like, ooh, not a huge fan, but at the same time, the shot, I mean, the first chance that open that straight across the face of the goal that should have been defended a little bit better.
Right.
And then that crossbar shot though, you can't do anything about that. That's nothing you can defend against.
Right.
Um,
And outside of those two things, I didn't see much like to worry about with Ed Ediano.
This was a very scrappy game. I don't know if it was the fact that it was the very first game of the season for RSL or the temperature. It was 7 degrees plus very, very humid. You could see Lachlan Brooks' face, a bunch of the players just dripping sweat. Just we were middle of the first half and they were just looked exhausted. Just a lot of walking, just a lot of jogging. And that was the toll of the whole game. And it was sad. Um, and then we see like Ayago come off. We see Pablo Ruiz finally make his comeback after 350 days of no playing at all.
354. Felicidades, Pablito.
354.
Hey.
And I and that's the first sub of the game that I was wanting to come on because Lachlan Brook did not seem like the Lachlan Brook that we saw in the preseason at all. Like I said, it was weather, it was first game of the season back, but Pablo Ruiz was that switch that we needed to come into the game to help on that attack that we needed.
Was he though? Because here's my criticism of the team tonight. As an observant fan, our defense was great.
Yeah.
Our attack was not. And I'm not saying our attack was bad. It was just lackluster. There was nothing there. Yeah, Ajago had a couple of great moments, and Giogo had a couple of okay moments, but Lachlan Brook was absent. Dominic Marchuk was absent. Um,
I
Xavier
think
Grosso was
I think the
a
fact
bad substitution.
that Dominic was absent really killed us because
Yeah.
we expect a lot more out of Dominic. Not as much with Lachlan, but I think Dominic is the one that for me was the huge letdown tonight.
I
Hmm.
will say this. I think without having Diego Luna, because I'm not going to say one player is the big difference in our midfield, but I think without having Diego Luna right now, kind of is killing us because with when we have him back, hopefully as a start next Wednesday, I think that will be big time. Having Luna, having Dominic, having Diogo in that middle, that will help us immensely.
I want to get you guys' thoughts on the formation. Obviously, the one that RSL put out had Diogo on the left wing
Hmm.
and Lachlan in as the 10.
Yeah.
I'll start with Christian because I know he has some hot takes on this one. But what were your thoughts on seeing that and I guess how it turned out?
well, seeing that, I was confused. Lachlan Brooks not a he's not a number 10.
No.
He's not. He's not a center of the field playmaker. He's an aggressive, and when he plays well, he's a good aggressive wing that gets out there and he usually not afraid to take shots. And then you have Diogo, who's a 10, and he's in the center creating plays and taking shots. And to have him out on the wing, what I noticed during the game is that they just kind of naturally and quietly swapped spots.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can see the idea. Obviously, I don't think it was executed to the perfection that we wanted it. I don't know, Marcos, what was
Mhm.
your thoughts on it?
It was different. It was definitely something that we are not used to that we saw from preseason and from the games from last season. We're more accustomed to seeing Lachlan Brook on that wing, sending in those crosses to Diogo or to somebody in the middle like a Yago. But if this is how it's going to be moving forward, this is going to be a weird adjustment period for us as fans and it's for the players, obviously. But like I said, with having hopefully Diego Luna back next week, this will turn everything back to normal as it should be.
So, all right. So now I'm going to ask you guys about the substitutions and how it changed the dynamic of the game because um Junquo, whatever. That one was probably needed. But
Mhm.
Wolf and Gozo, what are your guys' thoughts on how they entered the game? Because we've always wanted younger players to get more minutes. These are important minutes. How did they show up in this game? Marcos, go first.
Right off the bat, I was very confused about these subs, like you mentioned. Lachlan didn't really show up in this game, and then Dominic, he was average. He had some moments, but he wasn't great. But I think sending a player like Gozo into a very important game like this in a tough environment like Costa Rica in League One, I don't think this is the game I would want him to play. Yes, I want to see Gozo get minutes, but in a game like this, no, I would save him more for an MLS regular season match.
Maybe just a side question. Who else would you put in? I'm looking at the bench. I don't see anyone else you'd put in. So
Yeah,
it's almost like it was planned that way.
it's sadly that that's the way it is because we have a lot of injuries. The only other person that I would have put in is Nelson.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not saying that's not out of the realm of possibilities. Christian, what are your thoughts on Wolf and Gozo?
So I think those are valid criticisms to be brought in. For me, I mean, and again, looking at the depth of the bench, I have to agree with Alan. We didn't have much else of a choice. I think I disagreed with the timing.
Okay.
Um, because and who was substituted for who, I think is what confused a lot of people because we brought off Jaco and brought on Pablo Ruiz and so
That one was
it's
also confusing. Yeah.
that was very confusing. There was a lot of shuffling around that happened. I actually thought Tyler Wolf made a pretty decent debut. He played well, played cleanly. Nothing spectacular, but nothing, you know, egregious. And yeah, Xavier Goso just was so lackluster for me. Um,
I wonder if, I
and
mean, obviously, I think there might be a lack of experience tied in with it.
clearly,
Yeah.
I mean, and playing internationally and things like that. But I think timing. If we had honestly subbed in Wolf, so this is how I would have done it. Wolf in for Brooke,
Okay.
Pablo Ruiz in for Dominic, and then if we're not getting any results out of that, then you sub out Ajako for Gozo.
Okay. Now, how the top four formation ended was Jogo up top as a
Hmm.
forward.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think that that's going to be normal.
Mm-mm,
Well, just because I don't think he's not a forward. And so
he's not.
when they did that, I what minute was that? That was 75th minute. For me, they were parking the bus.
Yeah.
They're just bringing to Pablo Ruiz to have possession in the midfield, and just to make sure that nothing worse could have happened. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, it seems like that's how RSL was going about it in the second half. They were waving the white flag, and they're like, "Yeah, let's just enough's enough. Let's just go back to Sandy and try to punch our ticket there," because there was no offensive power whatsoever compared to the first half. Nothing really, because we took out Iago, who was really that attacking piece, and we bring in Pablo Ruiz, who didn't really bring much for that attack whatsoever.
I don't think that RSL waved the white flag. I don't think it was a give up. I think it was just a shift in strategy that needed to happen when it was evident that we weren't having any offensive output.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and so I think it's dangerous as fans to think that we gave up in that half, because I don't think we gave up. We still had some decent offensive output, but not really the quality that we need.
I think what it looked like to me was it looked like a summer game, August game in Houston or in Dallas, where second half just seemed just heavy,
Yeah.
heavy legs, and the field didn't help at all. I don't know if you guys saw the field. The field did not
That
Ugh.
help.
Ugh.
that was probably I don't know how to
That was
compare
bad.
that. I've never seen an MLS
Sh-
field that bad or
Well, you
I was
won't.
gonna say, shout out to the best field in all of MLS.
yeah, absolutely. Dan
This
Farnes
one.
and his crew, yeah.
No, Dan Farnes is not with them anymore.
Well, the field crew of America First, they do an excellent job.
They learned from Dan Farnes. um, no, because I think the not only obviously the humidity and
Yeah.
the heat, obviously with us being in the winter, um, I don't think the field did us any favors. It was wet, it was mushy.
Hmm.
It just seemed the running was slow, the ball was fast, and so we couldn't get passes connected. It just felt sloppy, and
I was gonna mention
But
I was gonna mention that point really quick, Alan, that our passes were not connected at all. We our communication wasn't there at times, and that was very frustrating that I noticed.
I'm gonna disagree with you too.
uh-oh, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
So one positive that I did take away is I saw better vision out of the team tonight. Yeah, I think a lot of the field conditions led to passes not connecting, but a lot of the tiki taka that I saw, a lot of I'm going to sing the praises of Emeka Eneli. His ability to control the field kept us in the game very well a lot of the time tonight. And I like what Pablo Mastroeni has done in his focus and the change for passing, because we saw a lot of possessions that we last year would have lost that we gained back and had smart passes, and there were, and we didn't see them pass the ball back as often. Like, it was when it was necessary, it was done, but there was a lot of good horizontal and forward movement with the ball.
That's actually a really good observation. I didn't notice that until you said that.
Agreed.
When you look at the stats of the passes in each half, they're pretty equal, which goes to say that, to your point, Christian, it wasn't passed back as often. We weren't just sitting back, parking the bus, as I would say, and so I I will agree with your point on vision. Um, the passing was still sloppy. I think just for because of field condition, not because
Yeah.
of, but vision. I think is getting better. And to your point as well, Emeka is definitely leading this team as a captain should.
Which
Chef
which
kiss.
yeah, seeing him get the captain's armband for this game made me happy. Knowing that the right person has the captain's armband moving forward.
Yeah. One last thing before we move on. I want to ask you guys about Kobe Henry. Everyone was singing his praises in preseason when we signed him before we even saw him on the field. How is his performance tonight in what would be his first, I think his first MLS start? Um, Christian, what are your thoughts on Kobe?
I thought he was great. That seeing him play and how he marked, how he covered, made that's what led me to be like, I not too worried about our back line right now.
Yeah, I agree. Marcos?
Yeah, I have to agree. We've mentioned it before in previous episodes. Our backline is going to have more depth than we've seen in past years. So it's going to be a battle between Henry, um, Junqua, Glad. those three battling for that starting position.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be a lot more battles in the defensive positions.
Well, it also opens up opportunities for new formations that we don't usually run, including a five back. Since we are light on the offensive end,
Mhm.
we have more depth on the defensive end. We could see more five back runs or three backs.
Shut up as you say that. I'm hearing in my head a Junqua Vera Glad with Catranis and Bodie because Bodie also plays a wing. I'm just saying, throwing that out
That
there.
that'd be a scary good back line.
Just saying. Um, one last question. Sorry, I know I already said one last question, but one last question. Who is your man of the match and why,
Are,
Marcos?
are we going off of the actual man of the match that they awarded
No,
the award to?
don't look at who. Well, obviously no. We're not gonna go off of who they awarded it to or Fought Mob. Your man of the match.
My man of the match. I'm gonna go with Rafael. That's my man of the match. His first ever start, first ever game with RSL, and I feel like he was the commander for that back line that kind of kept them in it.
Nice. Christian,
I gotta agree. Cabral was fantastic.
I'm gonna have to go with Emeka.
Yeah,
Just the way he manned the midfield, commanded is a better probably a better word, and kept us with a clean sheet in at least in the midfield.
And can I say one thing I'm admiring about Emeka right now that we haven't seen the past two seasons
Hmm.
is the passion that he plays with
oh
and
yeah, that second half, oh,
his
where he
propensity to get into trouble is going to make him exciting to watch.
that was exciting.
I hope he gets into more trouble. Kind of like
Definitely.
you guys know, I absolutely don't sing the praises of Kyle Beckerman, but I think at this point we need something similar.
We need a little fight. We need a little
We need something. All right.
real
We're,
quick before we move
what?
on to this game. We had somebody submit one question about this game. They want to know, who do you think should take our corners? I felt like it should. They said I felt like it should be Diogo. Left a lot to be desired for.
Oh my gosh, we totally forgot about that point. But yes, let's maybe just
That
throw
is
out a.
the biggest disappointment of the game.
Oh my gosh.
Our opponents are all year gonna be like, oh yeah, let it let us get let them
Yeah,
foul outside the box. Let them take free kicks. Let them take corners. They're not gonna hit anything on target.
bro, that first corner. Oh my gosh, I turned to my son. I was like, "You kick better corners than that."
Right, right. That was
Uh-huh.
it was so disappointing. So disappointing. I was embarrassed. Uh,
I'm trying to debate whether Christian is frozen or not.
No,
No, no, that's how bad it was. Well,
no, who would I want to take the I would go
oh,
with
I know who you. Oh,
Luna or Pablo Ruiz.
okay. I thought you were gonna hop on the Dominic train there.
No, Luna
oh no.
Luna Luna or Pablo Ruiz for me.
Well, I'm actually gonna say Ojeda.
Good. That's
Mm,
also a good choice.
Ojeda or Vera.
interesting. That's unorthodox.
Just saying. I mean, it's also unorthodox to have your center back shooting from 40 yards out.
Which happened. If we had a nickel for every time somebody scored from 50 yards out, we'd have three nickels last season.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right. Anything else? I know you guys love talking about this game, but anything else? All right, fine. Let's move on to our very first MLS game this season. We're going to San Jose again.
Ba-
Yay!
battle against Chicho.
Well, this is going to be a battle of the X. Um, this is, I don't know. I guess right off the bat, give me your guys' thoughts. Let's maybe aside from Chicho, what has San Jose built so far? What do you expect from RSL? Just give it to me. Lay it on me, Marcos.
Well, obviously they have a brand new head coach in Bruce Arena, who we've seen what Bruce has done in other MLS teams that he's built from the ground up, whether it be LA, whether it be New England, and now San Jose. So we know that he's a decent MLS coach, that he can turn from garbage to riches. So
Yeah, pretty
and this
decent.
pretty decent MLS terms head coach. So as we know, MLS, not San Jose has a decently good attacking core with Joseph, with Chicho, with the likes of Espinoza. So they're scary good, but we know that San Jose has a terrible defense. They let in so many goals last season, and they didn't improve that defense whatsoever. So
I mean, but maybe case in point, sometimes defense does win championships, but do you think having a better offense might help them?
no, no, no.
I don't know. Christian, what are your thoughts?
The San Jose squad right now is a glass cannon. Um,
All right.
where like Marco said, they've got a pretty solid attacking group. But that defense is and that goalkeeping unit is leaves something to be desired. So that being said, we can't go into that game. I don't think we can go into this game thinking that we are going to just walk all over them. A couple of positives though, when we're talking about team form and official tournament play, because you can't count preseason. We know that Chicho finally scored in preseason. I'm not going to count it. I'm not resetting the timer.
No, don't.
Um,
Nope, nope.
RSL's undefeated in their last 5 games. San Jose has won 1 in 5.
Eek.
They've lost 4. They
Eek.
either win or they lose, which is tantamount to their glass cannon structure. That's always been the San Jose way. They've always been a glass cannon group. So for RSL to go in and be successful, they need to shut down the attacking core and they need to be aggressive about it and capitalize on easy mistakes and counterattack. I think if RSL can counterattack quickly and aggressively, they're going to we could win.
What I want to know, obviously, with Chicho playing with RSL the past 2 seasons, does it worry you that Chicho knows how to read this back line of RSL very well?
That's gonna be a quick no for me. Only because the last half of Chicho's playing time with RSL
He didn't read
was
any black lines,
he
back
didn't
lines.
he didn't read any lines, didn't read any gaps. It almost seemed like he just didn't want to do anything really. And so I don't. First off, I'm not sure I see Chicho even starting this game.
Interesting. Interesting.
I'm not sure. To be honest, I haven't looked at
I
the.
think I mean they haven't played a game yet, so they haven't released a theoretical lineup. I think Christian Espinosa gets a start over Chicho though.
But Christian Espinosa plays a wing,
Well, you look at San Jose's lineups, what they've done the past season. They did what we do. They do a 4-2-3-1.
right? And so I mean, they copy us, but do they have any threats? I think the only threats that they have is Christian Espinosa and Hernan Diaz.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
I mean, who else do they have? I mean, obviously besides Chicho and Joseph Martinez, but
I mean, Amal Pellegrino is solid.
you're right.
they do have Mark Anthony K that they picked up.
That's another one. That's true. Um,
Chance Kell?
um, but really, guys, I don't see a lot of worry with San Jose. And again, we haven't seen them play in a real game, but the the way that they might show up, I don't think. I don't know. With going back to Christian's point in the Herediano game, we have a really deep back line. And so I'm not worried if something happens there. We did really good at controlling the midfield, I think. I wouldn't say spectacular, but we did pretty good for having it be our first game of the whole year. So coming into this game against the San Jose team that might be weak, like what Christian was talking about in their preseason, I don't know. I I think this is might be a cakewalk.
What are you guys' expectations? What are you guys thinking going into this one first game of the season? Just coming off of a road trip in Costa Rica and now going over to California because the team will literally travel Thursday, arrive Thursday in California, and then 3 days in California.
Do you mean that in terms of lineup?
Oh yeah, what are your expectations? All this.
I do expect some change, some
Hmm.
rotation. Um, they said Luna is probably going to be available to come off the bench. I do see
Correct.
maybe Luna getting some minutes towards the end, but
Yeah.
um, I'm not sure what to expect except for. Well, actually, do you know what's kind of crossed my mind just now? I
Mm.
hope that we don't go into useless possession because we have a tendency to, if we're really good at possession, to have useless possession. Just a lot of switching back and forth, small drop passes, square passes, and it just doesn't develop into any attack. And I might have I think I saw glimpses of that tonight, especially with Diogo trying to get something going, but you had again Dominic and Brooke that were just MIA. And so it just ended up in just meh with a couple of offside runs from Jago. I don't know. I see the potential of useless possession in this game. I don't know. Christian, what do you expect anything out of this game? And well, this is gonna be our second game the whole year.
Woo. Um, I mean, that danger you mentioned is real. Wasteful possession. We can't have possession just to have possession. We need to be productive with it. If we take anything away from this Herediano game, is that we need to be more aggressive and take shots. Shots on goal.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
seriously. I think well, I totally agree. In fact, one of the shots that really surprised me that was really close was Ojeda's shot. It like brushed right by the post. Granted,
That was a
offside,
But that was offside. Yeah.
that
but
was a
but
good shot.
but it was a good shot, and therefore, I think to that point, Ojeda started getting a lot of confidence towards middle and towards the end of last season. I hope that he doesn't lose that because we need him to take shots. Also, Pablo Ruiz still has a really good shot. His shot when he came on, left-footed blast. Holy cow. Um, I'm super excited if they take those opportunities. I, other than that, I think the chance of being wasteful is pretty high in this game if San Jose is one that's lackluster in defense and can't get anything offensively produced.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're not careful, this game will become a uh between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, I fear that it might be. I mean, I guess we'll save it for what we're about to do now. We're gonna do some prediction time.
Ba-da-doom.
Okay, Christian, lay it on us.
I think we're still finding our form offensively, and we're definitely getting to a good solid point defensively. That being said, I can't count San Jose out, so I think it unfortunately will be a 1-1 draw.
All right, Marcos.
Diego Luna is going to be back. We're gonna have a, hopefully learn from our mistakes. It's going to be a couple days difference from Costa Rica to California, so I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to go a 2-1 victory for RSL in our first game of the season.
All right, sounds good. I'm gonna go positive as well. I think we're gonna take advantage of maybe a weak defense. Ajago is gonna grow from this last game. He's gonna gain confidence, and I think this is actually gonna be a 2-0 win for RSL. I think we have the confidence to be able to produce results.
Oh, please prove me wrong. I would love to be proved wrong here.
No, yeah, but to your point, I can see your point, Christian. That's what worries me because well, that's RSL, right?
I failed to mention it last episode, but we will be keeping track of score this season for prediction time, by the way. So
Um, I guess we have to set the rules now because you both of you guessed a tie and it was a tie, but you didn't guess the goals or lack thereof. So we'll figure it out. Um, let's head into our last topic. Leg two of CONCACAF Champions Cup. Okay, leg one just finished. Now, I know we talked about a lot about leg one, but let's let's talk about what we expect, what changes we expect, because um, obviously we do have the San Jose game in between. But how do you expect us to play or change with Herediano playing here at home? Christian, do you have any changes you'd like to see?
For the lineup, honestly, not a ton. Obviously, I would put in Diego Luna for Lachlan Brook. Um, and maybe is Javane Brown going to be back?
That's a great
Or
Question
question.
question
so
mark.
if he's back and healthy, I could see him starting over Bodie. But other than that, I wouldn't make a ton. I would
Would you even
not
put
start.
Glad in for
Uh,
Henry?
I was about to mention.
No, I would not.
Interesting.
Um, ha- and yeah, so those are the changes I would make. I think we're gonna have the advantage similarly in the advantage that Herediano had at home, where they had the weather and the climate. We're going to have a similar weather and climate advantage where we had heavy legs because of the humidity and honestly, it was just humidity. It wasn't heat. It was 70 degrees. 70 degrees is not warm,
Right.
right? But humidity can make a difference.
Right.
We have mostly altitude. It'll be colder, and we all know that Central and South Americans don't necessarily love or do well in
They have to
higher
get used to
altitudes
it.
and cold, and they're not
Yeah.
going to have enough time to get used to it.
Nope.
Exactly.
So we have
Nope.
that. We have that to our advantage. So I think we're going to win 2-0.
Oh, that was a fast one. 2-0, huh?
That's me, Mr. Quick.
Oh, Marcus, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, my thoughts for the lineups. I feel like we said, Diego Luna will be back. He'll be in the starting 11. But when it comes to Justin Glad, that's where I'm kind of on the fence because we saw Kobe Henry in his debut tonight in leg one against Herediano. Seen Justin Glad have good games. We've seen Justin Glad be very inconsistent. So that's where I'm just. But yeah, I'm with Christian. I want to see Kobe Henry have another crack at it and see what he can prove. Not saying that I'm anti Justin Glad, but I want to see this development of Kobe Henry to
Hmm.
see if he can prove us wrong because he's still young. He's still a young kid. Um, but we will have the advantage because this is altitude. Playing in altitude is a difficult task, and let's just hope. Let's just cross our fingers that we have the orange ball.
You want the orange ball? I don't want the
I,
orange ball. That's
I
horrible.
I would love the orange ball.
I'm not sure about the geographical location of San Jose, how high up there, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty close to sea level. So, yeah, I think altitude is definitely going to be a factor. Um, Herediano plays on Sunday this weekend, so
Hmm.
they have a slightly 1 day shorter, but they're also playing against the last place team in their league.
Oh,
So
they're not going to start starters at all.
well, that's the thing. Are they willing? I mean, we could let's just start assuming or start guessing to start inventing stuff. Um, are they willing to give up their winning streak or their yeah, their winning streak in the name of um beating us? Like, are they willing to put in a bunch of bench players?
Well, for their season is still very early, so I don't think they would care that much for their losing streak to be dwindled away. Because yeah, this is a huge tournament that everything is on the line for, so they want healthy players for to be ready for Wednesday's matchup.
I think they will rest starters, but bring them in as necessary. So if they're down 1-0, 2-1, whatever, towards the end of the game, yeah, they'll bring in their starters to try to clean it up and get a draw or win. Because I think they will want to continue their winning streak. What team doesn't want to continue their winning
And
streak?
and that's my point. I
But
mean,
they will also want to rest because, like Marco said, this is a huge tournament. They want to look good on the international level, not just domestically. Because yeah, domestically they're already as big as it is. Now
hmm,
they have a chance to make a name for themselves on CONCACAF, and they like. hopefully every club in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, they want to win the whole thing and make it to the Club World Cup. I hope every team goes into it with that mentality, as they should.
Right. Yeah. And on top of that, they're playing at home on Sunday, so they don't lose at home. So
Mm-mm.
that's that's why I brought it up because I'm like they're playing at home against the last place team. It's almost like a I don't know. It's this interesting situation. Um,
We failed to mention this. Obviously, going back to Leg One, but the fact they played in a 40,000 seat stadium and they only had like 20,000 tickets sold was kind of sad. And yes, it was on a Wednesday night, 5:30. Terrible, terrible.
well, again, from listening to the preview of the Costa Rican channel, they said that apparently Herediano was only allowed to rent out half the stadium
Yeah.
Then why play the game there?
because it's bigger than their 20,000 or their 12,000 stadium.
But still.
And on top of that, apparently, again, don't know geography in Costa Rica very well, but Heredia, where Herediano is kind of a travel. It's like an hour long travel to the stadium that they're at. So there's a lot of factors that
Hmm.
for that. I hope that we don't have that issue with our fans. Um, Granted, it's going to be cold. I mean, which person doesn't know that it's going to be cold in flipping February? I mean, I don't know. But let's
Let's,
what?
I was gonna say let's pull up the weather app. Let's see what.
Do it. Pull it up.
So for next Saturday, the oh gosh, hold up.
Next Saturday or next Wednesday?
I next. Oh, it's Wednesday. You're right. Excuse me.
Aha.
Uh, Stupid ad. Get out of here. I will
Hey.
buy Adidas shoes later. High of 51 degrees.
Oh,
Oh,
that's actually warm.
that is gorgeous. That is gorgeous spring almost weather.
Any chance of precipitation?
2%.
Ah.
Actually, no. It's 100% chance of rain and goals. I'm so sorry.
That was horrible.
That was so bad.
Oh my gosh, you're kicked off. So with that, let's Christian, bye Christian. Let's go ahead and let's do a prediction time for this one.
Doo-doo-doom.
Marcos, let's have you go first.
Yeah, this is a crucial game. We have to winner moves on to go face the Los Angeles Galaxy. So give me a 1-0 win, RSL.
1-0. All right. Christian, could you please repeat your prediction?
2-0.
Nice.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be with how we saw them play tonight. I think I'm very confident with how we're gonna do. I'm gonna have to go with Christians 2-0 as well because it seems good. One goal in the first half, one goal in the second half. Mark my words. I'm not gonna name goal scorers though. All right, guys. That's what we have for today. This is what we're gonna have pretty much every week now with games.
Well,
Ah.
before we wrap up, let's go over there was other CONCACAF games tonight really quick.
Oh yeah, let's do that real quick.
Mm.
So besides ours, we had Seattle dropping the hammer on Antigua, 3-1, 3-1. And then of course we had Messi in Miami. Messi gets the goal against KC tonight. And then we had
He froze his balls off there. Holy cow.
5 degrees, changing the day to 1 day difference. That didn't make a difference at all.
Bro. That we won't even get into that.
Oh, and then we have Cincinnati who looked dangerous, 4-1 against Montagua.
Actually, I'm gonna bring that up real quick. They didn't look too dangerous. First half was only it was 1-1. And so I don't know what happened. I didn't watch the second half because obviously I'm here with you guys. But I don't know. Maybe Montagua just got tired.
But out of all the teams that played tonight, the team that looked the scariest that I've seen so far in CONCACAF, Seattle. Seattle is going to be a very lethal team that we have got to keep our eyes out for.
Did
I hate that so much.
did Jesus score?
Jesus did score tonight.
No, he didn't.
Oh no, Rusnak scored tonight.
Rusnak and Paul Ariola, another one of their new signings. So Paul Ariola,
Yeah,
De La
yeah.
Vega, and Rusnak. Holy cow. Yeah,
That team is loaded, loaded, loaded.
but bring this up
They're
real
loaded
what?
in the way that San Jose wishes they were loaded.
You're not wrong. I do need to bring up though, MLS did show up better the first leg of their games, better than Liga MX. Liga MX I think had two losses, and we had if you don't count the head-to-head MLS games, um, we technically didn't
Mm.
lose. So throwing that out there, MLS better than Liga MX.
And Olivier Giroud finding out again how tough MLS is.
I feel really bad for
Oh,
Ugo
And
Ugo Lloris.
oh
Ugo
back
Lloris,
back to back years where he starts a game off in the game in the freezing cold.
bro.
true, that is rough.
Did you see Olivier Giroud's icicles
La, la, la,
around his?
Do you know how painful that is?
I don't.
That is
oh, that
painful.
looked that look that
G-
looked brutal.
Getting
It looked brutal.
getting ice in your beard because I've had mine long enough before where I can get icicles on it. That hurts.
Hmm.
It is like
Yeah.
it looks so cool, but then you're like,
You have to basically just wait for it to thaw out. That's so funny.
literally,
Yeah.
you can't pull it off because
La- Lastly, before we finish up, thoughts on the whole Elias Manuel that
Oh,
that
um,
that got dropped today by Tom.
I have thoughts.
please
I was
give.
talking to a friend about it.
All right.
If he doesn't want to be here, I don't want him here.
Amen.
He
Bye.
because he would we were talking about this actually in our official RSL Bros chat. He with this attitude reminds me of Giuseppe Rossi. Giuseppe Rossi was kind of dumped on RSL. He didn't want to be here. RSL wanted him because it's Giuseppe Rossi. Like, what a cool guy to have wear our
Right.
badge. But um, he didn't want to be here. He didn't want to play. He played what, like 2 or 3 games and just kind of didn't do anything.
He played
Um,
injured.
he played injured. And Elias Manuel would have disrespected us in the same way. So I respect him for saying, I'm not going to go because I don't want to be there.
Yeah, that's a sticky situation. I don't have any other opinions besides I think he might be up there with just like what everyone else is saying, Alfredo Ortuño
Yeah,
as
yeah.
our best striker of all time.
A burrito.
No. You cannot put
He
Burrito in the same conversation. You
No,
can't.
we had this conversation, Marcos. Burrito wanted to be here. The rest of his family didn't.
It's just the way it is. But you can't put that on Burrito.
All I can say is I'm glad RSL dodged this bullet. We'll just have to go back out and shop for someone better.
Well, we have until April 23rd to get a 9. If not, we're gonna have to wait till the summer, which that's not ideal, by the way.
So everybody stay tuned for RSL's shopping spree.
Well, it's only gonna be one player because I bet you they're gonna spend heavy on that one player. I don't know who it is. I don't have any insiders. Just.
Oh man, just imagine. Hey, I hear Gio Reyna's available.
Oh no, I don't want that.
We're good on attacking midfielders anyway.
Yeah, no, and no. I. That's for another podcast. um. Anything else, guys? Before we
Sergio Aguero's coming out of retirement to play for RSL.
after recovering from his testicular surgery.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Tevez is coming to RSL. I heard.
No, I don't want that either.
Oof.
Okay, guys. Well, that was a lot. I'm glad you guys really loved tonight's game. We definitely talked a lot about it. But Marcos, remind everyone where they can follow us, hear us, and then let's say head out of here.
Yeah, if you guys are not already, I don't know why you're not. Make sure you're following us at the RSL Bros on Instagram and Twitter, and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts on Spotify or Apple, and watch us on YouTube.
Sounds good to me. Anyways, it's been great. It's been fun. It's been real.
Eight,
Anyway,
8:30 kickoff Saturday. Make sure you guys watch it on Apple.
it's
Yay!
and if
Oh,
you're what?
I was gonna say the same thing. Say it. You say it.
If you have T-Mobile, you have MLS Season Pass for free.
Heck yes! So get on that, guys.
All right, there we go. Now we can say goodbye.
Bye.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Adios.